Can I ask you to answer your own question? You're much better placed to give a good answer. What do we do?
Well, I've been doing a whole lot of things.
You got elected, right?
I did.
Unless your parents baptized you counselor. The first name. Congratulations, Ed. Keep telling me, why did you decide to run? Why did you decide to run? How did you come to that decision at your age?
It was really activist-based. There's a single issue in Lanceville that got me motivated to become politically engaged, and I saw just how broken our own council was and how dysfunctional our own council was, and decided, on the prompting of a lot of my mentors, that I would be a good addition to council.
Well, I'm inspired that I got a question about how to get young people to run for office from someone who's run for office and gotten elected. And how old are you? Sorry for
25.
25. Well, you're not that young, really. I'm just kidding around. We have to reach out to young people and make sure that our system is relevant and that we explain constantly. What I think one of the most pernicious pieces of analysis out there comes from young people who are really aware of the situation, but who have decided that democracy is so broken that it doesn't work and there must be other means. So they don't bother voting or thinking voting's going to matter because the system seems inherently corrupt, or they've made the decision to leap beyond where we currently are and decide there's no point trying because the fix is in from some large global conspiracy, the Bilderberg Group or whatever. So the very educated, politically aware, and astute young people, that's where I hate to see that group become anti-voters because of a false analysis of that, or to watch what's happening where the other, the sense of voter suppression that makes a lot of decent people decide not to vote, regardless of age group. Please tell people that you run into who think they don't want to vote because they're sick of politicians. Make it really clear to them, you've just rewarded the politicians you dislike the most because they have been working so hard to get you not to vote. So, stick it to them, go out and vote for anybody except them, right? So and the other thing we have to do is make sure that our efforts are inclusive, that we don't forget that we have to go into university campuses and into high schools. I talked yesterday, I'm so charged up about this. In my riding, I have the coolest riding. Well, you guys could be the coolest riding too, but Saanich-Gulf Islands is amazing. So yesterday I went into Claremont High School, where the global studies teacher and I have cooked this up, and he had me talk about what I do with my job and we had this all planned, and what it's like to be a member of Parliament, and suddenly, as planned, I said to them, you know what, to 57 students in the room, why don't you all come to Ottawa and visit with me this fall, and I can take you around and show you what it's like. At which point, Mark Neufeld, high school teacher, hit a button on a PowerPoint, and up on the screen popped up, Rails to Relevance. They're coming on Via Rail. They're going to come across the country. They're going to have workshops as they stop in different places. They've got people coming on board as they go through different cities. And, and they're so excited. The look on their faces, and I said, I'll take you around on the midnight tour. I really like taking people through the House of Commons when nobody else is there. You can sit in Harper's chair. And I do, because the guards are really nice, and they're allowed, I can get into the parliamentary library, which is the most beautiful space in Canada, actually, is the parliamentary library. Anyway, anything we can do with, and so I'm encouraging any of you, if you haven't thought of offering to your local high school to go in, not to talk about the Green Party as a party, but to talk about democracy, to talk about how important every single individual person in this country is, whether they're 6 months old or 6 years old, and they start thinking about politics at an early age. A little girl come up to me today at the Salt Spring Island Pride Parade. Oh, actually, it was her mother, said, my daughter's feeling a little shy, but she wants to speak to you. She was 7. And she said, I voted for you in the school election. So there's no such thing as too young to treat our kids as important, functional, effective citizens. The earlier the better. And other young people can mentor the ones just a little bit younger. And, you know, when you're ready to run for Parliament, which may be soon, I think, will you call me? Because I don't want you running for anybody else again. Just saying.